Imagine this. You're one of the most powerful people in the country. You make laws, you control budgets, you shape the future of millions. And yet, you risk it all for a few moments of secret pleasure, believing that your position makes you untouchable. What happens when the person you thought was your secret decides to tell every single one of hers? In just 7 months, one woman allegedly slept with more high-ranking officials than most people ever meet in their entire careers. And she didn't just keep a diary. She kept evidence. Hotel logs, crypto transfers, text threads, and voice notes so damning they don't just suggest affairs. They sketch a blueprint of corruption, of silence purchased, and of power perverted. This is not a gossip story. This is a detonator placed at the foundation of South Africa's political elite. And the countdown has already begun. Let's start with a simple question for you. Which minister do you think will be the first to publicly fall? Drop a name in the comments right now. Let's see who's really watching closely. Because this isn't about speculation anymore. It's about following a trail of digital breadcrumbs that leads straight to the heart of the union buildings. It all started with a leaked voice note, a crack in the inner walls of power. But Kelly Khumalo didn't just name names. She provided details, receipts, and personal notes that sent shockwaves through corridors where whispers are usually suffocated. Each claim came with a breadcrumb. A specific weekend, a parked Mercedes, a Bitcoin wallet address. When the accused becomes the accuser, the entire game changes forever. Take the minister known for his flashy suits and his even flashier promises. Let's call him Minister MM. According to leaked WhatsApps, he allegedly promised Kelly a luxury house in Pretoria in exchange for her absolute loyalty. The house was never transferred, but his neighbors confirmed his unmarked car was parked at her gated complex for 10 consecutive weekends. He calls it lies, but real estate agents whisper about a trust fund linked to his cousin. So, here's a question for you. What does a gift that never arrives really cost? It costs silence. Until that silence breaks. Then, things descend from shady to something far darker. Another minister, let's call him Minister S, allegedly demanded a trophy after every encounter, Kelly's used underwear. This isn't about intimacy. It's a ritual of psychological control, a sickening testament to the quiet, perverted ways power can manifest. And Kelly, she kept them, not out of sentiment, but as leverage. When he ghosted her messages, she reportedly threatened to leak photos of his collection. Do you think a scandal like this can ever be contained once that level of humiliation is on the table? The coordination was brazen. Imagine a WhatsApp group, allegedly named Her Circle, with at least 3 ministers inside. They used it to coordinate meetings, share booking details, and joke about keeping her happy. Screenshots show them using aliases, arranging visits like it was a roster. Group chats make powerful men feel bold and stupid, creating a perfect record of their own complicity. One of them has already deleted his number and vanished from parliamentary logs. What does it say about a person's judgment when their biggest mistake is a text message? The overlap is chilling. Building records and call logs point to one weekend in March where 2 different ministers, one from Cape Town and one from Limpopo, visited the same apartment within hours of each other. This wasn't a coincidence. It was a schedule. This paints a picture not of passion, but of calculated alliance building. When someone overlaps ministers, they're not building love. They're building a network of mutual leverage. Who do you think feels more trapped right now? Kelly or the men whose calendars she managed? The hypocrisy burns brightest with the minister who sang shirtless love ballads over WhatsApp. The Minister of Arts, leading a public campaign for cultural morality, allegedly sent voice notes calling Kelly his national treasure and promising to help cover legal bills. You cannot preach purity with your pants down. Kelly saved every message. The threats were not veiled. In one damning voice note sent to a minister who ghosted her, Kelly said, "If you go silent, I go public. I have everything." That minister resigned 2 weeks later, citing personal health. Sometimes a threat is a promise. Insiders say she has been slowly leaking bits to test reactions. When someone tests the water this carefully, what are they really preparing to do? Sometimes the most damaging evidence comes from a simple mistake. Kelly reportedly accidentally sent a voice note about one minister to his wife. In it, she mocked his performance and dared him to act big in Parliament if you can't even act in bed. That wasn't shade, it was a tactical strike. The minister's wife has gone silent, but divorce papers are rumored. Can a marriage survive when a private voice note becomes a public weapon? So how did so many powerful men get caught? They believed in their own invincibility. They trusted NDAs, used burner phones, paid in crypto. But they underestimated two things: her memory and her motive. Security is an illusion when you are the target. Once Kelly felt legally and socially cornered, she flipped the entire board. The systems they built to protect themselves are now feeding the leaks. When will powerful men learn that underestimating a woman is the costliest mistake of all? The media hunt is now on. What started as whispers is now a full-blown investigation across multiple newsrooms. One editor from a top outlet said, "We're just waiting for one more confirmation." Then it's front page. Court reporters, data analysts, even airline staff are quietly verifying travel dates. If one major publication drops a story with hard proof, what do you think happens to the stability of the cabinet? Look at the pattern, and the real terror emerges. Most ministers on the alleged list aren't random. They oversee judicial oversight, law enforcement, or national budgets.
Why?
Because that's where influence matters most. This wasn't about sex. It was about insurance. It was about having allies in the exact places that could shield you from legal consequences. Was Kelly leveraging power, or was she being used as a weapon herself? Tell me what you think in the comments. As of today, at least 3 ministers have vanished from public view. Others are suddenly traveling or indisposed. Kelly hints that bigger names, still protected by NDAs, are in her sights. This scandal is only warming up. Lawyers are circling, journalists are hunting, and the public is screaming for accountability. Kelly Khumalo may have cracked the door open, but the pressure building behind it is about to blow it off the hinges. The final question isn't about who she slept with. It's about what they sold and what they bought in those secret moments. It's about the corruption of intimacy and the price of silence. Kelly Khumalo may not be a hero, but she's holding the grenade. And when the pin finally drops, the shrapnel will tear through the highest offices in the land. South African politics may never look the same again.
Stay tuned.
Smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. Because when the next name drops, and it will, you'll want to hear it here first. Comment below with the name of the minister you think is most likely to be exposed next. Let's see who's really paying attention. The story isn't over. It's just begun.